Hello and welcome to another Drive-In Double Feature. I'm Ryan,
I'm Nathan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about two movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before anything at all, we have a Patreon over at patreon.com/Drive-In Double Feature Podcast. It's just a couple of fun games, some fun conversations between two friends who love movies so much. And we try to give you some extra content for only $5 a month, but it doesn't affect any regular content whatsoever. But today we are talking about Godzilla versus Megaguirus, directed by Masaki Tezuka from year 2000. This is continuing our series. Last time we were there, we did Godzilla 2000, and this one they continue the trend.
But this one
Um,
actually came out in 2000.
this one actually came out in 2000, so this one should have been Godzilla 2000
I think
technically.
so. hmm
Um, And this keeps up the trend of having almost nothing to do with the last movie at all.
It has nothing to do with most of the movies because it skips over. It's a direct sequel to the first one, which is how many times can you do this? How many times can you be like, nope, this one's a direct sequel?
It's kind of annoying. It's just like they're just like forget everything you knew before
hmm
because this one is the real Godzilla. Although like the Heisei ones, I mean, there was that loose threat, there
Yeah,
Mickey was still there.
that's
No
true.
Mickey in this one.
No, they did get rid of Mickey. But yeah, no, the last set of movies, yeah, those at least had a loose thread. But it felt like there was before that, there was a lot of moments where it was like, oh, we're restarting, we're redoing this. I guess I'm not that upset. It just surprises me that Godzilla 2000, like this is the sequel to that movie. And then with this one, with the sequel, they decide to even skip over the movie that came out last year.
Now this movie does kind of like an alternate timeline twist to the
hmm
series because normally they do go off of the original one where at the end of the original one, Godzilla dies. They use the oxygen destroyer, hydrogen
hmm
destroyer, yeah, and they're able to kill Godzilla. And then this is like a new Godzilla monster. This one is different because this is a timeline where what if they didn't kill that
hmm
Godzilla? Like what if he was like this is like the original Godzilla, and they go as far as to reshooting certain scenes from the original Godzilla movie, but using the new Godzilla suit
Yeah,
because
yeah.
because the design is so different from the original one. They're just either you reuse this suit.
Yeah, and they reused the suit from the last movie, so he has like the purple spine, which I really think this Godzilla suit is still really cool. Probably one of the best ones.
Stellar design. Godzilla looks never better in
Yeah.
this, and I mean, it's just a really cool looking suit.
hmm
Uh, and this movie, I mean, basically the only like one of the major plot points is that there's these two soldiers, and one of them's our main character named Kiriko Sujimura, Major Sujimura, and she's with like her one of their other soldiers together, and they're chasing down Godzilla, and then Godzilla knocks over part of a building, and part of a building collapses on one of her soldiers, one of her friends, and it kills him. And then she kind of like vows, like, "Oh, I'm gonna vow revenge against
Well,
Godzilla," type of thing.
another character like that. But there's actually some I actually like this character. I actually liked Major Kriko. I thought she was a lot of fun, kind of once again, like a maybe like a badass, like tough, like I won't let anything get me down. Nothing will get in the way of me getting Godzilla out of revenge. And I think the progression of her character was pretty entertaining because she literally goes from having her hair up the whole movie, and then eventually, guess what she does? She lets her hair down at one point. Wow, that's character
That's what
progression.
that's what I do when I get ready for the podcast. I let my hair down.
I know. Yeah, I've never seen you with your hair up. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I just always just go like, now I can finally relax.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, they like Godzilla is like he really is attracted to like this um like plasma energy, and that's how they used like to attract him and everything. And
He he likes
the event,
all kinds of energy, right? That's what they're going for. Like it was nuclear, and then it
hmm
was it was like solar even. Like he just is attracted to any type of energy. And the capital is what's the capital of Japan in this one? It's not Tokyo, right? It's
oh darn,
I'm sorry to ask this question. But yeah, it's like an alternate timeline where the capital of is something completely different in Japan, and Godzilla actually ends up destroying that capital, so they have to switch it.
it's isn't it Osaka?
Is it Osaka? I think you're right, actually.
Okay. Yeah, because ends up destroying the plant from there, and because of that, they're going to because they stop using nuclear power, because and then they have to develop like these different types of energy,
Hmm.
and in order to counteract Godzilla, they develop a new Godzilla self-defense force, which is honestly one of the worst names I could probably think of. Like
Yeah.
when I heard that name, I was like, really? Like that's the best. Like it's called they're called G graspers.
Horrible. Really bad.
So they they're like they come up with like this idea of like, oh yeah, we're the G graspers. And
Hmm.
Kariko she's kind of like one of like the head members of it, and she's trying really hard to destroy Godzilla or subdue him in some sort of way.
Hmm.
And they do eventually come up with this idea of coming up with they want to create their own black hole and
Yeah.
shoot it at Godzilla and suck Godzilla up into this black hole, which seems like it would have much higher ramifications on
Yeah.
society as a whole
I thought
than
that
getting rid of Godzilla.
horrible idea. Of course, in the movie logic, it's fine, but shooting this black hole that they shoot out of this gun is pretty big too. I'm pretty sure it would do a lot more damage than just, yeah, we hit Godzilla, he's gonna get sucked up. No, I'm pretty sure it would suck everything up into it.
Yeah.
But I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe here, let
Uh,
me call up Neil deGrasse Tyson, my buddy, real quickly and see what's going on. Yeah.
like he would always remember, like he would watch like Interstellar or Gravity and
Yeah.
talk and like point out all the inconsistencies. Like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not how they would do it. Like imagine him like talking about like this movie and seeing like like, oh no, that's accurate. That's how
Oh.
black holes work.
Yeah, that is completely correct, Nathan. These are not morons or idiots that make this that make these movies,
Nah,
okay?
their science checks out.
Yeah, oh, giant dragonflies. That yes, of course. That makes complete sense.
Uh, but yeah, the how they do that, they have to find this scientist guy named Hajime Kudo, who's like developed these little nanobots, which I thought was
I
pretty
love
cool. Like
them. Hmm.
there's like a scene where he's like, oh, like watch, I'm gonna put rice and curry onto the spoon and it's gonna be cooked after I put it
Hmm.
underneath this little lid. And like of course, it was like rice and curry was all like cooked. And I'm like, whoa, and like Kariko comes and points out like I guess he's doing like a little schemes. Like she pulls up like, no, see, this bowl is actually a microwave, and see here that he's using these little robots to cook this food.
Yeah, how mean is that? To be like, yeah, you're a liar. Look, you made these stupid little robots. I love that the guy he was like, oh, you made me lose all respect to these children. These children are not going to respect me anymore.
Which I mean, like they're not like amazed by it, like they're kind of like, oh, I'm like that's still really like, it's like these little robots making a
Yeah,
meal.
that's even cooler. That's it, like because they're like little robots, and it's like a tiny robot with a tiny little whisk and like stuff like that. And yeah, I agree. I think that's cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, oh, like I would have been amazed if I saw those little robots. But
Mhm.
anyway, they want him to kind of come aboard his team, and they're able to get him, and they have to test out this weapon beforehand because they don't
Mhm.
want to just use it willy-nilly. And they find like this abandoned area and they shoot it, and it's a complete success. But because they do this, they end up opening up a wormhole in there, and it ends up creating this
Like an egg.
yeah, like this egg sac that kind of comes out.
Yeah, and
Because
it's
Mega Gears comes out and ends up shooting out like its egg sac.
yeah, and the little boy, he's the one who ends up with the egg. There's a little boy that like sneaks out and watches the whole military thing, and he's there and sees it, and they have to swear him into secrecy.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, first of all, that's a really bad idea. Second of all, if that was any other movie, they're like, no, you can't just go home and like with this stuff. Like you're
No, yeah.
like you've seen way too much.
Do you pinky promise that you'll never talk about this giant wormhole gun that our government has? Yeah.
Uh-huh, yeah. And there's a scene too where they're like, there's like this military blockade, like blocking off the road because they're not letting anybody come in. They're like, like we're surveying the area. And this kid he just like kind of just goes around them. Like it's like they just weren't prepared for that.
Yeah, like, oh damn, we didn't block off the woods that people can walk through.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And he finds this egg sac, and the egg, and he basically is gonna take she takes it home with them to Japan, and it starts like oozing this strange liquid. So he's just like,
Hmm.
oh, this is kind of gross, and he throws it down like this sewer,
Hmm.
and then it does actually develop into like these. It's actually called a meganulon,
Okay.
which we have seen these types of creatures before, Nathan. I don't know if you remember
Mm-mm.
which other giant monster movie you've seen these in.
Don't even pop quiz me with what was it?
It was from Rodan.
Really? I don't even remember
So
that.
you don't remember like those like praying mantis looking, not the praying mantis, but like
Oh,
kind of like the insecto monsters kind of
it's
from,
it's ringing a bell.
yeah, like they weren't giants, but they were like just enough where it was just like they were these big
Hmm.
kind of like almost like vehicle size insects.
Mm-mm. No,
Okay. Well,
sorry.
that's what they're basing these creatures off
Gotcha.
of, is from that
Yeah,
movie.
because
But
I heard giant praying mantis, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that, but that's from that's not that one. That's
that's
a
not a
Godzilla
Godzilla.
movie. Yeah. No, but I do think the scene I thought I was going to like this movie a lot more from the start. I thought it was fun at first and all that. And there's this really brutal scene, like almost horror movie-esque scene of the couple that are hanging out, and then the bug
Mhm.
comes out and like stabs them to death. It's actually really horrifying. It felt like a scene from like a horror movie.
Yeah, this is like the best scene of the movie, and honestly, this
Hmm.
is like the closest time we've ever seen like for a Godzilla movie where it kind of turns into like a horror movie almost,
Yeah.
where it's just like you said, like this couple's kind of chilling, and this guy just like gets horribly massacred, and then this girl, she gets this poison or some type of ooze like shot in her face, and she ends up getting killed by Megaguirus too.
Hmm.
And eventually it does come out that this couple was murdered, and this little boy is like, oh, this was all my fault. And the Kariko's like, no, no, of course it wasn't. I'm like, it kind of
It kind of
was actually,
was.
but
You don't want this little boy living with that on his conscience, though, for the rest of
yeah.
his life.
So that's what happens. And I don't know, like after that it kind of turns into, I don't know, I just didn't really care for a lot of the human elements in this one.
Dude, it got so boring. I don't know how it did it, because I don't know if you felt the same way. It was really interesting at first. I kind of liked some of the sillier elements,
Yep.
but then once Tokyo gets flooded because it gets filled with water, I think it just
Hmm.
loses a lot of energy, and it just kind of doesn't maintain that entertainment factor.
Yeah. And I mean, there is certain scenes where like they're like these little monsters, like you're kind of like these larva type of
Hmm.
monsters are coming from Megaguirus, and Godzilla does finally show up. And Godzilla, like I said, is not a good guy in this one. He's very much
Hmm.
evil, and but he's fighting Megaguirus just because he's there, type of thing. And these little larvae kind of like attach themselves to Godzilla, and they're just like stabbing him all over
Hmm.
and like kind of sucking like his energy out almost.
Yeah. Which is, again, but my thing with this though is that it's the same really, really aged CG from the last Godzilla.
This movie, I think this movie relies very heavily on CGI.
Yeah.
And there's certain scenes, don't get me wrong, where like, where Godzilla's walking, you can kind of
Hmm.
see like that it's the suit. And there are scenes of like close-up shots of like his head that we
Hmm.
can kind of see. But for a character like Megaguirus, which does fly around a lot, I mean, like we've seen before, there have been some flying kaijus that, but they look
Yeah.
kind of like they're very stiff and they're just
Yeah.
they kind of their wings are just like they don't really move at all. They just kind of move. Uh, they we do see some close-up shots of Megaguirus, but for the most part, like any scene where Megaguirus is there, it's all CGI because
Yeah.
it's this flying creature, and how do you make him look good?
Exactly. Yeah. So I get why they did it. And there's even like bits where like with the little bug versions, like there's one where they're like covering the side of a skyscraper and they are all moving the exact same way. It's obviously just the same little CG bug pasted over and over again because there's like a scene where they start to fall off and it just looks the same. And it sucks because in one hand, I don't want to complain about it because it's just of the time. It's just the way it was. That's the way CG was. But then again, it doesn't make for a very interesting fight, which I'm going to always appreciate two suit actors or multiple puppets duking it out over a suit or puppet duking it out against a computer animated image.
Yeah. There's a scene too where I mean I yeah, I mean I really just prefer like a lot of the suit actor type of stuff. And we do
Mhm.
get some
We do.
bits of it.
And
And
Megaguirus he's cool. He's a cool monster.
yeah, what we haven't mentioned, what do you think of his design?
No, I think
Or I
he's
guess
really.
her design,
Oh, yeah,
because
you're
that's the
right.
queen.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. No, really like really menacing, really just like I like the size. Like I think that's what they're doing like now with these monsters that he's fighting against is it's more about like just like how huge they are. And I feel like there's a good scale to this one. No, I actually really ugly and disgusting, which is exactly how a Godzilla villain should look. So perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the design of it. It's kind of it's almost like an evil version of Mothra, kind of like it's another
Yeah.
flying insectoid. Um, but even while all this is going on, like the G graspers are trying to just that
Stupid.
face you made.
Yeah,
The
because I have to hear G graspers.
the G graspers, they're still, even though Megaguirus is destroying Tokyo, parts of Tokyo, they're still actively trying to get rid of Godzilla.
Hmm.
And they do shoot the black hole at Godzilla, but apparently Godzilla just digging a hole underground is enough to stop a black hole.
Obviously. I was texting my boy Neil about it, and he said, "Yep, makes sense to me. Just hide
Yeah,
underground when the black hole comes." No,
yeah,
it's so
a thin
goofy.
layer of dirt will stop it.
No, it's yeah. I mean, honestly, I guess I get it. It's a sci-fi movie. It's gonna have silly science to it, but I feel like everybody watching knows, like with a black hole, it doesn't work like that.
No, it's the science in this movie makes no sense whatsoever, and it's just like again, like I'm like you shooting a black hole at Earth surface. I mean, I think that's going to have much bigger ramifications that you're making it out to be, but it all makes sense. Uh, in terms of the movie. Um, but kind of like getting towards like the end, Godzilla and Megaguirus have been fighting. It's been injecting Godzilla with like its energy. It's been because Megaguirus has this giant stinger
Hmm.
type of thing, and it stabs Godzilla like right below the waist, like
Yeah.
almost like in his
That made me laugh.
like,
It shoots him it hits him in the balls, whatever the Godzilla gonads are. It's like, I mean, that's the best way to put it. And it just stings him right there, which I mean, that sounds horrible. I feel bad for him.
yeah. But this Megaguirus 2, it's been able to like suck all of Godzilla's energy out, so he can't do his atomic breath.
Yep.
So like whenever he tries to do that, and that's how he kind of subdues Godzilla. But eventually, it does the same old trope where it kind of takes out Godzilla for part of the movie,
Hmm.
and but then Godzilla kind of comes back, and Megaguirus tries to sting Godzilla, but Godzilla actually catches Megaguirus' stinger in his mouth
Yeah,
and
that
chomps it off.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of rocked. There was something about that moment that was like, oh wow, because the way they shoot it from behind Godzilla, and whenever the stinger comes in, it hits his head, or at least that's how it looks because it's from behind, and then switch to a close up, and he has the stinger in between his teeth, and I was like, oh okay, that's really cool, and he crushes it with his mouth.
So that's kind of subdued Megaguirus. Godzilla's able to power up and is actually able to shoot his atomic breath, and that just like, destroys Megaguirus. He just explodes into this fireball.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the humans have some part in this too. You know, the boring humans. They're like flying some ship around for a little bit.
At a certain point, like there's a scene too. I mean, I'm trying to recall like some parts of what the humans like. There's a scene where like the scientist guy breaks his arm, like he's like in a building getting
That's
collapsed, and he
right.
breaks his arm, and he ends up having to go to the hospital. And they're like, and but then like he runs in at the final hour, and he's
Hmm.
trying to like type with like these casts. He's like and he just like rips off
he,
his
he
casts.
takes it off like a hinge, he just takes it off so easily. I don't think that's how it works.
No, if you're taking off a cast, you need like a saw or something. But
Yes.
uh he just that way he can does this little like typing or whatever, and he's able to save the day. But at the end too, Godzilla is still rampaging,
Hmm.
and they're like, okay, so they do fire the the black hole gun, and Godzilla uses his atomic breath and blasts it out of the sky.
Makes sense.
And we kind of see like this big fireball, but Godzilla disappears after that.
Where could he be? I wonder if he'll come back.
I wonder, but yeah, they see it as like this big rousing success, and at the end of the movie, Kariko, like they're everything's kind of all back to normal, but she goes back to Hajime, like the scientist, and she's just like, "Oh, we've found some seismic activity out there. It could be Godzilla." And he's just like, "We don't know that for sure." And then she kind of just like, he says like a joke or something, and she punches his like broken arm. He's like, my arm is still broken." And that's just how the movie ends.
Yeah, it's really awkward because like he like hits her, he's like, "Oh, ow," and then she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then then freeze frame credits roll in, and it's like just a very weird way to end the movie because it's not really comedic and it's just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah. Um, I mean, there's other stuff we haven't seen, like they try to get Godzilla to come over to like that one facility because it has all the plasma energy. That's how
Mhm.
he gets attracted to that. Like that seems like the whole reason like they were like they built up like always attracted to energy just so like this one final bit made sense.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And Kariko, she's trying to track Godzilla, and she she's flying the ship and directly at Godzilla and ejects like at the last minute to like and
That's
the
right.
ship just explodes on Godzilla.
Which when has that ever worked in any of these?
Never. Um, but yeah, that's where the credits start. But Nathan, did you notice there was a post-credit scene?
No, I didn't until I was reading this movie on I was like going through like the Wikipedia page for this. I was like, "Oh, there was an after credits."
There was one of the few times you see an after credit scene, but I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
So it's takes place at school, and it has like the little boy from the beginning of the movie, the one that found like the egg, and all of a sudden they're just kind of uh checking, like he's just like, oh, like he's at like the little science lab, and he's just kind of hanging out with like one of the teachers, and then all of a sudden like there's like it's like kind of like an earthquake, and everyone freaks out,
Mhm.
and then the boy looks out the window, and all you hear is Godzilla's roar, and that's how
Nice.
the movie ends.
Nice. I mean, yeah, that sounds like a Godzilla post-credit scene.
Yeah, so they build like this giant black hole gun, destroy parts of their own city to kind of get rid of Godzilla, only for it to fail on
Yeah. Oh my God. Could you tell
every way.
the political controversy that would happen after this? The government allowed us to use black hole guns, flood the city, destroy everything just to get rid of
Hmm.
Godzilla, and it didn't work. Oh my God, that'd be horrible.
Uh, but yeah, this movie, it was never released in America. It was a straight to TV, so I believe that it was kind of it never had like a proper theatrical release here in America. It did in Japan, um, budget of 700 million yen, and it made 1.2 billion. So not rousing success, but
It made money.
but a little more than break even, it sounds like.
Yeah. So I guess that's not like, yeah, yeah, that's better than some of these.
Yeah, and I remember, I like I said, I had never seen this one. I did never had it on home video, and I never saw it anywhere to rent. And I do have it now on Blu-ray, so that's one
Nice.
cool thing.
That is cool. Did you get to watch any special features on it?
I did not, and I didn't get a chance to. That's
Um,
on
uh,
me.
that's okay. Well, I guess is it a standalone Blu-ray or is it a part of a set?
It's with Desodroya.
Nice, nice. But I guess it's interesting. From what I looked up, it doesn't seem like a lot of people love this one in general.
No, I don't think it's a very beloved one. I mean, I mean, like I said, the characters are nothing special. I thought the CGI was better. I mean, not better than what I was saying. It's better than what we've seen in like some like the 90s versions, but
Mhm.
that's not saying much.
Yeah, yeah, that's not really saying much.
And they rely very heavily on CGI, I feel like. So
Mhm.
I feel like for like a Godzilla movie, it's not one of my favorites. I don't really see much in here. I mean, like from some of the action scenes are good. It's one of the nice things I could say about this one, but not nearly as memorable as what we've seen in the past.
No, yeah, I think that's kind of my thing about this movie. I think after I finished it, I was like, this was okay, right? Like it was interesting at first, got boring, but now that I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, this just wasn't memorable. I think this is going to be a Godzilla movie that just later on you'll ask me about or like say something about, and it'll be out of my brain. It's just like kind of unremarkable.
Yeah, I mean, even in this time right now, I'm trying very hard to recall certain details about this
Yeah,
movie. But I mean, mind you, it's been a week since I watched it, so that's part of the reason why
yeah.
probably should have given it a rewatch, but I didn't. But overall, though, I mean, I don't think my feelings would have changed much for this movie. So,
Mm-mm.
uh, would I give this a recommend? Mm, probably not, honestly. I mean,
Mm-mm.
there's some entertaining elements, but overall, I mean, there's much better Godzilla movies for your time.
Totally. Yeah, it's a not recommend. I don't really think like, you know, because if you're going to recommend this, it's not going to be to somebody who just loves Godzilla and would just watch all the movies anyway. Just to like somebody, no, you could do much better.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that's going to end it for now. Godzilla will return, of course. But back to our regularly scheduled programming. Nathan, what are we going to be covering next week?
Well, Ryan, next week on Tuesday, we're going to be covering the Ballad of Gregorio Cortez from 1982. And that one is actually streaming over on Amazon Prime.
Terrific. I'm one of my favorite ballads.
Oh, of course, I know how much you love your ballads. But Ryan,
Hmm.
remind us, or not, don't remind us. Let us know what are we covering on Thursday.
Well, Nathan, I wanted to kind of get back to our cult film roots, and I wanted to do a cult film movie that I've known about for a while, and I've wanted us to talk about. So we will be talking about the movie Death Race 2000, which
Oh,
is streaming for free on Tubi.
nice. All right. Well, I'm excited to talk about that one.
Absolutely. But if you have any thoughts and opinions, please email us over at driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast and check out YouTube, youtube.com/driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast. But until next time.
Until next time.